The stripping. Come on, God. Come on, God. The stripping. This might be the most challenging video that I ever make. But because God is so good and that He restores, He renews, He replaces. If you trust Him, He'll give you double, 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 double for your trouble. This is called the stripping. In my last video, I spoke of the roads that it took me to get to this point in life. And the part that I left off on is the part where I lost my son to a tragic death. I just want to go over that so I can tell you what that experience was like without reliving it. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Oh, come on, God. I first want to preface this with saying that don't give up on God no matter what. When I got the news that my baby was murdered, we're talking about the pathway and everything about life, your perspective on life, everything you've done as a parent, everything you've done as a mother, your walk with God, everything you thought you knew about life. In an instant, I was stripped of everything I thought I knew. All the data about life that I had acquired up until that moment ripped out of my body. I felt like I was walking open, vulnerable, and empty. If someone had a place, wow, that, that was weird. If someone had a place their hand inside my soul, they would come up with air, nothingness. That is really trippy. Look at that. That's above my television, that reflection. This is the TV. It's reflecting. That's weird. Anyway, back to the subject, because that was weird, but this is what I'm talking about here. If somebody had placed their hand inside of my soul, they would have came out with emptiness, nothing, no feeling, numbness, didn't know how to think, didn't know how to act, didn't know how to be. And for a large portion of time, I felt like my voice was taken, my motivation was stripped. I had nothing to give. I had to assimilate myself in this new world that I had to adapt to without him. I couldn't see past it. I couldn't see a future in myself. I was already a person who's always in the house, always um, not too much engaged. I engage sparingly with people because I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert, but I'm an introvert. And that caused me to be more of a recluse, like times 10. But it's funny how God will still use you. Over the last couple years, there's been so much loss in the family, with friends. It was just like boom, 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 back to back. And so he used my experience because I never let go of him. My husband told me to don't let go. And I felt like letting go at one point, like of the thought of, is there a God? Like, how could you, right? But he began to replenish those spaces within me that I had lost little by little by little. And I never had any ill will, not even worried one moment about how it happened, who it happened, what happened. I knew that we all came here to do this work. And I knew that when God said it was time, it was time. So when I was stripped of that data and I was stripped of all that information, God had something more to restore me with. So over that period of time, He used my experience to help friends who went through it right after me. I didn't, I had been through it and I was still healing, but I could offer a little something that let them know that life will get better over time. And sometimes you go back to square one, but you keep trusting God and He'll replenish. And that's what happened. God began to replenish me. I began to have a new respect for Him. I began to say that my life from here on out will not be about me. Mm-mm. My life will be a reflection of God's goodness. Because in that moment, I learned that I had no control. That was ego. I had no control over the outcome of things. But what I did have control over is how I operated with the life that He gave me. And I vowed to myself to live more intentional. I am tripping about these lights around me. Like it's causing me to look like I am glowing on another plane, but that's how I feel right now. So I started to embark on the journey of living life more intentional. And so here we are, just at the 10-minute mark. My next chapter will be about what living life more intentionally looks like, life after death.